This question of what does a leader mean to you is fascinating, because I'm an old woman and I look back on many, many years when other people have been the leaders who have helped to develop my personality, my life, my career, and my interests. Not always the same people, and not always women. But what they all had in common was a desire to help someone younger than themselves up the ladder, whichever ladder it was, whether it was to the arts, or whether it was business, or whether it was just how to be a good friend. That is what leadership did for me on the way up. I think one of the biggest challenges in my life was when, as a very late entry, I went into the civil service. I had worked for the Labour Party at Transport House, and I have many stories about that very, very happy time when the Labour Party was a true socialist party with senior members who you admired and respected totally. People like Nye Bevan and Barbara Castle and Jenny Lee. I was equal in time and talent with people like Betty Boothroyd and Gwyneth Dunwoody. And I did very well in the Labour Party. I wanted to be an MP. I chaired the staff of the Labour Party and battled for their wage increases against some of the toughest nuts in the trade union movement. I was a councillor in Islington. I was the secretary of the London Trades Council. I jumped through every hoop. And like Betty and the other women who were idealistic and keen and wanted to go into the House, we worked hard. And the day came when I went for an interview for a marginal seat. And after 2 interviews, I was accepted. And the constituency was Frome in Somerset. And I drove back to London thinking, I'm on my way. I'm going to fight an election. And the nearer I got to London, the more I knew that this was quite wrong for me. And I decided then and there to leave the Labour Party and to work at something else. And my friends at Transport House said, Barbara, you will not waste anything you've done. Go into the civil service and you will rise very fast. So the challenge for me was to go at the age of 31 into the civil service in the most junior rank you could go. Other people and my bosses would be pleased if I could take down a telephone message correctly. One gave me a £10 note, in those days, a £10 note, and asked me to go and buy some flowers for my predecessor and her leaving party. I went out feeling furious. I had been going to be an MP. I had been considered a substantial woman whose words were listened to, whether it was at the Islington Council or whether it was getting an increase in money for my staff. And I was asked to go and buy flowers, like any office girl. That was a very difficult moment in my life. I think my biggest success and my criterion for success is and always has been my friends. I am fortunate indeed. On my next birthday, I will be 91, and I have the biggest range of friends you could think of. At my 90th birthday party, I had a room full at the Reform Club. The library was full of a range of people who all knew me and knew me well and loved me. And that is the biggest success, I think, you can have in life. I think the last time that I was in any way a leader was many years ago. My last salary check was when I was 75 years old, and I'd stopped being a leader then. I was deputy chairman of a company, but I don't think I was a leader. So I'd have to go back quite a long way to say what had changed. I think one's style does evolve as you learn, as you get experience, and as you realise quite often that people are watching you when you're unaware of it. And people are watching your style, people are watching how you speak and how you behave, and you might be totally unaware of this. And I gradually learned, I think, in leadership, that in the end, it is not what you say. I can speak well and I can use words well, but what is important is what you do. And I think other people watch, and they learn to trust and follow you on what you do. I think my advice is never give up. You may feel that you're inadequate. We all feel inadequate. I know that Harold Wilson felt inadequate when he became leader of the Labour Party. He was up all night with a really terrible tummy. He didn't feel he was equal to the job. I think probably we very rarely feel that we are equal to the jobs and the demands and the skills that face us. But the only thing to do, I think, is to persevere. And once you have gone one step and then two steps, once you have started to be promoted and you look around and you say, I could do his job, I could do her job. You probably could. Then why aren't you doing it? So have a go. If you're careful, sensible, work hard, you'll get there.